Folks, welcome to another very special episode of the Frogs Insider podcast. Maybe another collaborative episode, but this time we are featuring our friends, our countrymen, our protected rivals, protected rivals, the harbinger of the Bluebonnet Battle. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. We are joined by Evan and Matt from Between Two Bears. This is a momentous occasion, folks. And yeah, it's good, bad,
folks,
ugly, indifferent. It's happening, which is the same thing you could say about this newly launched and rebranded rivalry between TCU and Baylor. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. So I guess we might as well move forward with what's going on. Gentlemen, how are you guys?
Been better.
I'm pissed off, Melissa. I'm pissed off. Yeah. Villanova was my, for sure, sixth leg of my college basketball parlay this evening, and they blew it against Penn, and that's what we're here to talk about, right?
You know what? Those poor, souls from Penn that just don't get a lot of breaks in life and don't have many opportunities. Let them have this win. Let them have this win. This is the time. Listen, we could be all kind of salty and pissed off about a lot of things, but let's start with the most obvious one. And that's the fact that it's no longer going to be known as the Revivalry. That's the worst part of this football season for both Baylor and TCU fans. Yes?
Yes. Maybe only to the media elite.
Well, outside of the media elite, what do you guys think of the name?
It's off. I don't associate Bluebonnets with Waco or Fort Worth.
I took a lot of Bluebonnet pictures in Waco. I got a picture in my house right now of me and some Bluebonnets in Waco. Easter.
Just you.
99.
Just you. Just me laying on your side in the Bluebonnets.
Paint me like one of your French Bluebonnets.
Exactly.
Were you ever told that it was illegal to pick Bluebonnets, or was that just something that happened at my school? Is that true? What's the deal there?
I have no idea.
I think it's true. I think it's much like a California poppy and that it's a protected species. And so you're not allowed to harvest it without proper governmental. I think that's what it. Now I could also be completely pulling that out of my rear end. It's possible, but I was afraid to touch them. I'll say that.
At Hewitt Elementary in 2002, we were weeding. We pulled those out. I must have had 50 in my backpack at one time.
Oh, I mean, that's the kind of thing I expect.
There is no law that prohibits picking Bluebonnets in Texas.
Not anymore.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Folks, if you don't learn anything about either football team that you're interested in listening to, at least you can now harvest all the Bluebonnets that you would like. I think we fill the trophy next year with real Bluebonnets that we have to pick in the spring and then are dead by November when this game is played.
No, see, you're validating this way too much.
I am.
You are.
Here's my thing, and the irony of this was not lost on me, but Sonny Dykes on the press conference this morning that I attended via Zoom mentioned how important it was to protect these long-standing rivalries while he was simultaneously giving the double birds to SMU, who TCU is no longer going to play, which is their oldest rival. And I do think having a trophy for these games is cool and fun and unique. I don't know if I can get behind creating a trophy in 2023 and forcing it and thrusting it upon us ahead of the next round of Big 12 expansion. I guess that's maybe my issue with it.
And it's not even a cool trophy. No. There's no spikes on it. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's got big civil conflict energy,
Yes. Yeah. When Sonny was talking about the little brown jug and Paul Bunyan's axe, and then they throw us the Bluebonnet Battle trophy, which I will mention was created by a Baylor graduate. So we could at least I'm happily to crap on it. I would probably try to justify it if it was TCU guy. But yeah, it's just kind of generic. It looks like a 2023,
It looks
TCU
like if
Baylor's gone woke.
It looks like if you go to a cemetery and there was a house, how people make house divided T-shirts.
Yeah.
If there was a house divided couple, this is what would be on their shared tombstone.
Okay, I get that.
This is what it would look like.
Yeah, and honestly, you could do worse. Let's talk really quickly while we're still on this thread. So one of the people. So this was hilarious to me. Mac Rhodes on the call. Sonny Dykes on the call. Dave Aranda on the call. Jeremiah Donati had the Lincoln Riley flu, not on the call. I was proud of my guy, ADJD. I was proud of him for ducking out and bowing out of that one. But my big question for you guys is, and I know the answer, is Dave Aranda okay? Because that guy is the most positive outlook, happy-go-lucky. He looked sad. And I'm really concerned about him because he looked sad.
He's very much, I don't know how much Parks and Rec both of you have watched, but he's very much like who's the guy who gets
Jerry?
Of course
Not Jerry.
Not Jerry. He's the really positive one. Who am I thinking of?
Oh, Chris.
Yes, he's very much like a Chris Traeger. Like if he gets a little sick, he gets a lot sick, you know?
Okay.
So I think he's really going through. I think we're gonna get like a Dave Aranda claymation in a few weeks once he has more time on his hands.
Oh,
like could an unemployed coach make this? That's what we're gonna be seeing from him in a few weeks.
So that kind of brings my next question is, how hot is that seat? Because Dave Aranda felt like a home run hire when he was brought in, and it feels like it. And clearly at this point, I think you can say it just really hasn't worked. But it also, like, there's a big buyout there, right? We don't really know because it's private school. And who else are you going to go get? Like, do you think this seat is hot? And I mean, putting aside, obviously everyone agrees Dave Aranda is one of the best people in college football. He's a wonderful human being, just a delightful person. But is it time for Baylor to move on and say the experiment has failed?
I think so. I think you have to like win, recruit, or develop. You got to pick 2 out of the 3. And right now he's picking 0 out of the 3 options. And you can be nice. I'm nice, but I can't coach football either, apparently. You know, what's he doing? Matt, what do you think? What's he doing out there?
Like, when you choose to make your public persona the very introspective, self-aware, continuous improvement, like all the corporate buzzwords that you would want in like a manager at work. Like, I would love to work for Dave Aranda. That'd be great. But this isn't like a consulting firm, right? This is the most visible, like, non-NFL job type in America. And if you choose to make that your public persona, boy howdy, you better look smart. Even if you lose, you better look smart. And that's the thing. Like, none of this has looked smart. Yes, it's looked bad, but it's possible for it to also look smart. Like, decisions are good and the process is good, but none of it looks good, right? And if you're going to be the, hey, we're going to keep working and be positive thing, that like a pseudo Matt Rule shtick, well, that's collapsed as well. I listened to the like post game radio show, the official post game radio show.
Don't do that.
I don't know, 3-4 times a season, maybe, usually after a big win to continue the good feelings. Well, I decided to just delve into the depths of feeling bad, and I listened to it this week, and it was crushing. Dave Aranda came on, he was like, yeah, this is the lowest we can go. Like, this is the lowest I can feel. This is pretty low. It's going to leave scar tissue. Like, he sounded like a pop emo band. Like, it was depressing.
If he comes out with the Jimmy Butler hair ahead of the TCU game, I'm going to be so worried.
Taking back Sunday,
right? Yeah, it's taking back Sunday.
Good.
That's
That was
exactly
good.
right.
That was good.
So if he's broken, imagine what the rest of the staff feels like, and imagine what the rest of the players feel like. And I'm not doing this to like drum up pity or even sympathy or empathy here. It's just, yeah, it's bad. Like, it's really bad. There's absolutely going to be a coaching change. I don't know if that's going to be offensive coach side of things, or if it's going to be the whole kit and caboodle, but there is something that is going to change.
The good news is not that far from Waco, there is a newly unemployed head football coach that has a national championship resume that you can bring in for dirt cheap. For dirt cheap, because he's getting $76 million from Texas A&M. I don't know if Jimbo's the move, but Jimbo's not the move, right?
I'd take Jimbo. Matt, would you take Jimbo?
Don't tell anybody. Don't let this go
I'd
public,
take Jimbo.
Hey, this is just between the 3 of us. Jimbo would be a home run for Baylor.
Yeah.
Jimbo going into the new Big 12, like the new Big 12. That's what we have to call it now, right?
It might be
Jimbo or Dabo. I'll take either. Give me either.
Dabo would fit right. Dabo's born to coach at Baylor, but like Dabo's born to coach at Baylor when he's like at the end of his coaching career. Like that's going to be 78-year-old Dabo on the sidelines.
Hey, depending on what happens against UNC this weekend, look, we might be getting pretty close.
Hey,
Dabo seems like he was more interested in Waco around the 93, 94 range. That seems more his lane.
Yeah. Hey, Dabo can go to Baylor. TCU will take Garrett Riley back. It's a win-win situation.
Everyone wins.
Everyone wins. What, like, I don't want to say like what's wrong with Baylor, but like outside of that incredible like UCF comeback, right? I mean, this team has just looked overmatched in a way that we haven't seen since kind of the end of He Shall Not Be Named era. Like the cupboard should not be this bare, right? Like are there deeper issues here, or is this just kind of just from Matt Rule to Dave Aranda that just where's the kind of the fall off been?
Matt?
So to table set here, when I don't have recent success to like immediately remember, if it's outside the purview of my ADHD memory bank here, my expectations for entertainment from a football team is actually pretty low. I don't need you to win 10 games every season. I don't need you to bring in 5 stars. I just need you to look like you know what you're doing and ruin someone else's season every once in a while, right? Like, truly, that's all I need. If the process looks good, if it looks like you know what you're doing, I'm good. I'm good. It's not just that we haven't won an FBS game at home since literally November of last season. It is the fact that we haven't looked competitive outside of the Utah game. We haven't looked competitive against an FBS team at home. And we haven't looked competitive against a good FBS team on the road since November. And it's just okay, so it's one or multiples of recruiting, coaching decisions, or roster building, right? Like recruiting and roster building, I feel are different things.
Yeah.
Or development, right? Like it's some combination, and you can't say, oh, well, they are doing a good job in this area, because it doesn't necessarily look like we have enough talent. It doesn't necessarily look like we're developing players well enough. It doesn't look, I know for a fact we're not making good coaching decisions on the field. Some of them are truly baffling. And there's nothing that you can hang your hat on except for, oh, we might have a couple players in the secondary.
We got a guy named Dawson who might be good.
Yeah, we have a running back and like maybe 2 defensive backs that are pretty good. What are we doing?
How has the defense been this? I mean, Dave Aranda, I don't think anybody questions his defensive pedigree. Is that just come back to, well, yeah, I guess you can now, right? Is that recruiting and development, or is this a scheme issue as well?
I think
look at the talent he had at LSU.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we find out coordinators are just coordinators, you know. We've learned that he can cook when he has multiple NFL players to tell what to do.
Oh, you're gonna go with the Bill Parcells of he needs to be able to shop with the groceries too, right?
Yes, exactly. So thanks for your service. Get out of my community. That's what I think.
You send this kid north, and all of a sudden, man.
Exactly. FYI, that 2019 LSU team, they gave up 38 to Vanderbilt, by the way. Just the same amount of points they gave up to Texas. Like, are we sure they were that good? I don't know. That's the part of it. Melissa, you hit it right on the head. That's the part that frustrates me. The defense has never been good outside of having 2 to 3 NFL players. That's truly what it. And they built the entire defense around those 3 players: Jalen Petrie, Terrell Bernard, and JT Woods. Like, that's what they built the 2021 defense around. So that's the part that frustrates me.
looking ahead to this toddler slap fight Saturday afternoon, which is what I'm kind of expecting. I know. This game has been relegated to ESPN Plus, and I know that Baylor fans have gotten comfortable with ESPN Plus this year for football.
Bookmarked.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we deserve, right? Both of these teams have had success in phases. They've had success in periods of time. They've had success with other coaches, but neither team looks successful. Or I think, Matt, you were kind of alluding to, like, there's reason to think that the right things are being done to build for the future. So, like, are you going to watch Saturday? And if so, what are you going to be watching for?
I won't. I will be in Jackson, Mississippi, hanging with my mom.
Okay.
Instead of this.
Yeah, that's a good priority there.
The Houston game, I swore up and down I wasn't going to watch. I was going out for my birthday celebration that evening. I swore up and down I wasn't going to watch. And I watched the whole thing, except for the part that I listened to on the radio.
Yeah.
It's a sickness. It's a sickness.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm swearing up and down I'm not going to watch on Saturday, but I'm going to. And it is going to lead to yet another weekend of my family being miserable because I can't control my sadness after seeing what they put out on the field.
Do you?
Yeah, depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm giving you a virtual hug. I don't know if that's an option. I think I can give you. Let's see what my reactions are. I can just give you a
well,
thumbs
high five.
up.
Yeah, thumbs up. There you go. Love that.
See what else I got for
you. We've all been there, right? And it's hard because, like, I don't miss TCU games. Like, I'm still watching even when it's bad, even when it's good. I'm still flying out for games on my own dollar and volition. It's something that when you're tied in, you're tied in tight. I don't know what the spread is. I haven't looked yet. I can't imagine TCU is a huge favorite here. This is
Melissa, I need you to take a guess right now. I will get a live look at it.
A live look. Okay.
It will blow your mind.
As we are recording this on Monday evening, anything more than 5.5 would surprise me.
This morning it was 14.
What? I was gonna say I'm thinking closer to that 2 touchdown range.
Right now it's 13, and I'm going to hammer TCU again. So
I guess
1 moment.
Yeah, just a second. I guess coming off of the second half against Texas, even though, like, it's for TCU fans, it gave us a lot of hope. The guys were actually playing hard for the most part. The offense finally got some things moving, but my pessimist look says, yeah, Texas wasn't trying to do anything in that second half. That was the most impotent play calling Steve Sarkisian could have given, and he did just that. And they protected Quinn Ewers. And then once they unfortunately lost their running back to a torn ACL, then they weren't even trying to move the football. They were just kind of waiting for time to expire, which is what happened. But man, 2 touchdowns. I know Baylor's bad. Like, we can all admit that, like, very bad. To the point now where it's, like, not even enjoyable for me as a TCU fan to, like, watch that level of suffering. Like, Matt, when you, like, I'm almost tearing up for you. I'm just hurting for you alongside you. But
that's why you're a better person than
I know. I'm not a great person, but I am like a terminal empath. It's pathetic, but it is who I am. But guys, like, we are not taking into account there's a trophy for this game now. And Dave Aranda said it today that the trophy's going to make his guys play harder, and they're all invested and locked in for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard they've been playing for a fake trophy in practice all week. They've been looking really good playing for it.
Yeah, they're ready.
That's what the rumors have been saying.
Yeah. Do you, like, what's the path to Baylor pulling off what I guess we could now call a pretty significant upset?
The path?
Yeah.
We would have to do some blocking and some tackling.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Yeah. Well, we're terrible at tackling too. And we cannot rush the passer. Although we've been okay against, we were mostly okay against the run against Texas, which I'll take against that running attack.
I think
Aranda said, here's a tweet from Michael Hegg, who writes for the Baylor paper. He says, Aranda said he was blown away by the enthusiasm among both sides of the conversation on a Zoom call today, and that their enthusiastic nature made him fired up. Why I'm being lied to. Every Sunday or every Saturday after the game and every Monday during his presser, I'm just being lied to over and over and over again. Sorry, I had to get that out.
No, it's important that you get these things out, and talk about them. Otherwise you're just going to fester inside, and we don't want that for you. You're getting older, we need to protect the ticker. These are all things, these are important. Yeah, I mean, well, that's also funny too, because I'm sure there was a ton of enthusiasm around both student councils, and I will say the kids did seem like super proud and super excited about this, but I have never heard crickets longer on a Zoom call than I did when they asked for questions. And only Matt Gingle was willing to break the seal, which was great, and ask a couple questions. And then Drake Toll did ask about why it wasn't the rivalry, and the canned answer that you knew they were ready for that one. The talking points had been written ahead of time for sure. Man, like this is sad, friends. This is not the inspiring rivalry preview that both of us thought we would have back in August, but I think it is appropriate for the level of enthusiasm around this game. Neither team, I guess, how many wins does Baylor have now? I don't think either of us have a chance to get to 6, right?
We're sitting at 3.
Yeah, I think we're sitting at 3, or no, we have 4. So theoretically, TCU is still playing to get bowl eligible, with Baylor and then at Oklahoma remaining on the schedule. So a little something to play for. It doesn't feel like the Baylor players have quit per se. It just feels like they aren't any good. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that's the most depressing part. I think that is honestly the most depressing part. Now, they don't celebrate for each other on the sidelines. I don't think that's necessarily quitting, but damn, everything else except for some of the play on the field leads me to believe they have. I don't know. It's just really stupid. Like I think I said during the Kansas State game, I'm now at the point where I'm worried about putting these kids out on the fields, like you would with like a what was the fake school, Evan, that that ran
Bishop Sycamore.
those people?
Yeah, Bishop Sycamore.
Bishop Sycamore. It feels like a Bishop Sycamore situation every single Saturday. It's fantastic.
No, they had a 4-star player on their team.
and they also had a couple. They had a couple of 30-year-olds, so it was different.
Yeah, exactly.
In our last 2.5 minutes here, before my Zoom runs out, and we could start a second one, but I don't want to subject you boys to any more torture than I already have. But if we need to like have a therapy call after this, we certainly can. Just like for wailing and like rending of garments and gnashing of teeth, that's totally fine. Tell us, I want you to give me your 60-second, or make it a 15-second elevator pitch on Baylor football in 2023. How would you describe it? And then where can people find you on social? Because I mean, Evan will be smarter than both of us, Matt, but people may want to just like follow along with us on Twitter or X or whatever else on Saturday afternoon.
Matt, you want to go first?
Okay, I got it. There's a show called What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
I started it last night.
There's a character that's an energy vampire that sucks all of the life out of people around him for sustenance. And that's what Baylor football is this season. It is an energy vampire for its fan base, and it has sucked all of the enthusiasm out of it. Basketball's, restoring the feeling a little bit, but that's what it is. You can follow me at Matt is Bear. Very specific life choice, but you could if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah. It is a choice. It is a decision.
There's another show that's off the air now, but it's called Scrubs, and they made they made a 9th season of it, despite not really needing to have made it, where there's some familiar faces, but it really fucking stinks. So that would be that'd be Baylor's 2023 season, is season 9 of Scrubs, which is fun because we don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
So we just won't talk about the season after it's over. Perfect. And we'll get a new producer. It'll be good. That's
perfect.
all I got.
That's listen, next time that we talk, I want to talk about Jacoby and Baylor basketball.
Oh,
because
please.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm in love and I hate him so much. I would like him. Please, can we? I'll give you Sonny Dykes, return Kendall Briles. You send Jacoby Walter to TCU.
Then we get 4 years of Desmond Bain.
I'm gonna keep him. Well, you could have